I know that the Florida Panthers ultimately nearly blew a 3-0 series lead in the Stanley Cup Finals against, the Edmonton Oilers, but they held on and ultimately won Game 7, 2-1, capturing their first Stanley Cup title in their 30th season. By the way, just as an aside, we've now got the Florida Panthers as champions, the Miami Heat as champions, the Miami Marlins as champions. All have won championships since the Miami Dolphins last won a Super Bowl title following the 1973 season. I mean, damn, the Miami Dolphins got something in common with my New York Knicks. They ain't won since 1973 either, my Lord. So we got to take that into consideration. But in all seriousness, major props on several levels. Number one, to the Panthers defense. They put Mr. McJesus himself, the one and only Connor McDavid, held him scoreless. No points, no assists on a total of 2 shots on goals in Game 6 and 7 after he had recorded a Cup Finals record 4 points in consecutive games in Games 4 and 5 with 3 goals and 5 assists. So figure that out. They were able to put him on lock and key in Game 7. Major props to Florida's defense. They were known as having an elite defense. They handled their business. Now, I openly admit I don't know anything about hockey other than the puck is black because I don't follow the sport. But I was there Monday night. And it was one of the most exciting times that I've ever had, and I'm going to make it my business to go to some more hockey games or at the very least watch some more hockey games. I thought I wouldn't like the sport when it turns out the only thing I don't like about it is that the arenas are cold as hell, okay? You could be outside in 95-degree weather. The minute they open the door to a hockey arena, it drops by about 30 degrees in a nanosecond. It is cold, okay? But I really did enjoy myself. I really had a good time, all right? I was in attendance, like I told you. They won the game, and props to Florida coach Paul Maurice. 26 seasons, he finally captured his first Stanley Cup championship. By the way, he improved to 5-0 in Game 7s. So this is a guy that's proven that he could coach. He's proven that he knows how to handle his business. Florida held Edmonton to 1 goal after allowing 6 goals per game and getting outscored 18-5 during the 3-game losing streak in Games 4 through 6. So a lot of stuff has to be given credit. Now, here's the controversy in a lot of people's eyes. This guy, Sergei Bobrovsky, goalie for the Panthers, stopped 23 of 24 shots on goal. You had a whole bunch of people out there believing that he should have won a Conn Smythe trophy. He should have been a Conn Smythe trophy winner. That's what they were trying to say. That's what they were trying to say. But guess what happened? It went to Connor McDavid. Now, me personally, I can't have a problem with him. When you consider what the brother did, what he brought to the table. I mean, just think about this right here. This is Connor McDavid we're talking about here. Just because I don't cover the sport, just because I don't watch it that much, does not mean I'm not going to know my facts because I'm a reporter by heart. And here's the bottom line. Connor McDavid, 42 points, 8 goals, a single postseason record of 34 assists. Are the 4th most in a single postseason in National Hockey League history behind only Wayne Gretzky, 47 in 1985 and 43 in 1998, okay, and Mario Lemieux with 44 in 1991. They both won a Conn Smythe Award in those seasons as well. His 11 points, we're talking about Connor McDavid here, his 11 points in the Stanley Cup Final were 2 points shy of tying the Stanley Cup record held by Wayne Gretzky with 13 in 1988. Okay, so we got to take that into consideration. He also became just the 6th player in NHL history to win the Conn Smythe Trophy after losing in the Stanley Cup Finals. So we got to take that into consideration. In the 3 wins they had in this series after being down 3-0, 3 goals, 5 assists for just 8 points. In the 4 losses, 0 goals, 3 assists for 3 points. We got to take all of those things into consideration. Here's my thing. When I look at Connor McDavid, this is the kind of conversation that we have to start having. If we're going to be fair, if we're going to be honest, if we're going to be real about what we're watching, because there's no way around this. When we think about Connor McDavid, as phenomenal and fantastic as he is, and ladies and gentlemen, he is the real deal. Make no mistake about it. We also have to put him in a category. Most league MVP awards with no championships. Right there you see on the full screen, no Canada. Not old Canada, no Canada. As in 31 years since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. I'm an American citizen. I don't give a damn about that. That's their issue, not mine. Here's what my issue is. When I watch greatness and I see champions, I'm paying attention. And most league MVP awards without a single championship in each major pro sport. You got Karl Malone and Steve Nash with 2 in the NBA. 2 league MVP awards, no championships. You got Lamar Jackson now with the Baltimore Ravens of the National Football League. 2 league MVPs, no championships. But the second person, the second highest person with league MVP awards and no championships is now Connor McDavid. Number one is a 7-time league MVP, Barry Bonds in baseball. Now, it's all a team sport, and I get that. But baseball is one of those things where you could be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and there's absolutely nothing you could do. I hold individuals less accountable for not winning in the sport of baseball than I do in any other sport. Lamar Jackson could have made a difference against Patrick Mahomes last year in the AFC Championship game. On the basketball court, Karl Malone, if you're a little bit better than Michael Jordan, you might have had a championship. Steve Nash, if you know, Robert Horry doesn't hip check somebody in the conference finals when you were with the Suns, the Phoenix Suns with their high-powered offense led by Mike D'Antoni there as the coach. You know, when you got Joe Johnson and the Matrix, you know, Sean Marion and the rest of the crew, y'all might have won a championship, okay? So it's little things that can happen, but an individual player, an individual greatness can somehow, some way influence things. In baseball, I don't want to hear that. You ever seen a situation where you got cats smacking home runs, smacking RBIs, doing what they do, but a pitcher comes in and stinks up the joint? Y'all ever see that happen? I've seen it happen. So, I mean, if your pitcher don't show up and he ain't on his game and he's getting the ball smacked around the ballpark or out of the ballpark on him, there's nothing an infielder, an outfielder, a catcher can do. There's nothing a manager can do other than take him out. There's plenty of times I've seen that happen. So I'm not going to hold Barry Bonds accountable for not having the chip. When that brother showed, now, if you show up in the World Series and you play like garbage, that's a different matter. But if you show up and you do what we're accustomed to seeing you do and it just don't work out because your other teammates didn't show up, I'm not holding you accountable for that. I'm not holding Barry Bonds accountable for that. Damn that. But Connor McDavid, Monday night, they clamped him, y'all. They clamped him. They keyed up on him. They zeroed in. They focused. They took away space. They took away time. As they say in hockey, that time and space, the narrower it gets, the more difficult the game becomes. That's what they did to Connor McDavid, and as a result, he didn't do anything. And because he didn't do anything, he went home without a championship. 0-4, actually. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Major props to him for winning the Conn Smythe Award, because the Conn Smythe ain't about an MVP performance during the Stanley Cup Finals. It's about what you do throughout the entire playoffs. And clearly, his numbers throughout the playoffs were sensational. He was deserving of the award. But who wants to hear his name called in a losing effort on the road in Florida last night? I'm there. Those people didn't give a damn about Connor McDavid. They would appreciate and respect him, but they were booing because they don't want to hear that shit. Their team won. And Bobrovsky stopped 23 shots in 24 attempts after giving up 18 goals, 18 points in the three previous games. Gave up one in Game 7. That's showing up. That's delivering. I got to give credit and props where credit and props is